It's a terrible dad joke, isn't it? Guys, I'm over here at my, turn this around, my assortment, my pile of blades in an old coal forge we got here in the shop. And what I'm doing, I'm actually going through and seeing what I've got so that I can practice forging some guards. Oh, hey, there's another Ferris rasp blade. And I've got a build coming up with the Forge Memory Family website about a forge to finish. Yeah, that one might work. A forge to finish hunting knife, to where the guard's going to be finished. It is going to be a hot fit guard, a hand forged blade, and it's one of the upcoming builds. And if you guys are interested in videos like that, the link is in the description for the Forge Memory Family. Now, there's already some videos there that are available, and it's a step-by-step process. Different bladesmiths who are making those pieces, and in fact, I've got a guard right here that I'm working on. I'm getting ready to start that forge again. My grandkids were just here, so I turned that off so it wasn't so loud. And here's a Ferris rasp with a single branch, and I believe that that's probably okay right there. But I'm going to be going through and taking some of these blades and making guards for them. So, if you haven't subscribed yet, it's a great time to do so. You're going to hear me say that a lot in these videos because we are looking for more subscribers and just all kinds of fun, cool stuff for these videos. So if you got suggestions, you guys let me know. I'm going to get some safety glasses on, and we're going to go from here. If I have a customer walk in, I want to attend to that, and we'll go from there. We'll be right back. All right, so first things first, let's fire up the forge. All right, so there is probably a piece of steel in there already, but you can see where I've started to punch the guard here, and just using one of my punch tools. None of the blades are going to be cleaned up. They're all heat treated, and I'm just going to go through and make as many of these as I can. Some will be single branch, some will be double branch, some will be... Those are pretty much my options. Once more, if you haven't subscribed yet, it's a great time to do so. Here's a Ferris rasp blade that I'm going to be fitting this piece to, and this one's not going to end up with a scroll on it. I sometimes do scrolls. Go ahead and get this in the forge. Like I had another piece of steel I was working on. This is kind of where it's almost like Blue's Clues, where it's like, hey, where'd this thing go that I lost? Is this Zine or Zine? Hello, how's it going? John Lansing, how are you doing? All right, guys. While that's coming up to temperature, we'll look around, see. Seems like there should be another piece of steel here. Well, I got a piece of, this is either 1/2 inch or 5/8 square bar. That's 5/8, and this can make this can actually, there's enough material here for me to make a sword guard. I don't want to use this one quite yet. But let's see if there's anything else. That's mild steel. Let's put that in the forge. So as the forge comes up to temperature, here's what's going to happen. It's going to get hot. That's pretty much it. How's it going? And thank you. So I'm going to be using a few tools for this particular build, for this particular process. One of the tools I'm using is a setting tool. Now this is a piece of mild steel pipe, black pipe, that I've smashed down. And when I drive the guard on to hot bit, this is going to be what I drive it on with. Now if I were to take my hammer and just try to pop both sides, it's going to take forever, it's going to stretch out. It's not going to be ideal, so this is going to press it up against that shoulder right there and also make an indentation. I know where that other guard is. It's right here, and I already did that. So if you look, you can actually see the indentation. While that's heating up, let's go over to the grinder and see about taking some of those corners off. I knew I had another piece over here. So using a flat, I'm just going to come in here and go from that rough. So here we go. This will fit on. It won't fit on right now. That's a bit thick right there. So you have expansion and contraction. Let's turn that. You have expansion and contraction when you are feeding or cooling a piece of metal. And I imagine that that's contracting quite a bit. There you go. Now you can see how that's going to fit onto the shoulder. I mean, literally, any discrepancies are absorbed into the guard. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this on around. You're my favorite streamer. Please don't go bald. It's too late. All right, guys. Yeah, it's a little late for it happens. All right. Keep that on there so I don't blind everybody. So what I'm going to do, since this is already forged to fit, I'm going to put this into the forge and I'm going to bring that on around just a little bit. There's a lot of hand fitting with this, but it's not a drawn out process. So that's something I really like about this, is that it's fairly simple, something you can do in a repetitive manner and get good at it. That's why I'm practicing, guys, because I want to get as good at this as I can. Also, I've been doing this for 30 plus years, and that's how you kind of do things, is you continue to be a maker, keep making, and that's what I'm doing. All right, so that temperature still needs to come up quite a bit. And while it's doing that, we look at some comments here. Sadly, the noise suppression cancellation is not the best, but would recommend some mics if you. Yeah, actually, I mean, like, mics would be really positive for this. Right now, I'm running this without a camera person. I'm running it off my cell phone here at my Axon Main Forge memory location in Central Illinois. And you too can come in and check out what we've got going on here with forging experience and so forth. And if there's a build you'd like to see, let me know. There's links to the Forge Memory Family website in the description, as well as a Facebook link to one of our social media pages. And I'm just about to a point where I can go ahead and start punching the guard for the next blade, which is I think that's this blade right there. Blade is straight, tang is bent. There we go. So to get an even curvature on that guard, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to be using my swedge block here and a straight peen hammer to do a little bit of hot work. So I'm going to come in here. Not too terrible. I think there's a possibility of that working. I'm actually going to bend that tip out just a little bit. Because you don't want that digging into your hand. At least I don't want that digging into my hand. Thank you. Yeah, like noise compression, cancellation, suppression, all that is non-existent. This forge is loud, but it does the job quite efficiently. All right, here we go. I'm liking that just a little bit better, guys. Now, I am a bit concerned about how large that guard is because, one, I think it's going to fit a person's hand okay, and I'm worried about it being getting in the way. Take a look and see if I just warped. I think it did. So, that could work right there, guys. All right, I'm going to put that one to the side. And we're going to come in here. Here's the next blade. Now you can see how that's starting to come through. I'm going to run this over the hardy hole. This has a misshapen hardy hole because of a weld repair. Pop that right out and then knock it off. There it is. While that's heating up, we're going to go over to the power hammer. We're going to start working some of that round stock into flat bar. If you haven't subscribed yet, it's a great time to do so. See where we went from round to bar shaped, and I guess if round bars, hexagonal, square, there's all different types of bars. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a couple things. One, I'm going to thin this tang down. I'm just going to even it out over here at the grinder, because I don't need high spots trying to get this on there and then get back off. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, I'm going to take my caliper and I'm going to set it at the shoulder approximately and run it out to the tank. So I have plenty of clearance, but one thing I am going to have to do, I got to figure out which punch I'm going to use. Will that one work? Actually it will. And then check my thickness, which has got to be close to 1/4 inch, and determine about an 1/8 inch past that shiny area there. Should be good. questions, comments, go ahead. Try to keep it reasonably clean. So, next step in the process, quite simple really, and that is going to be punching that hole large enough, and that's going to be over that hardy hole. So the side I want to come in on is not as stretched out, just right about there. All right, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to knock that down. Turn her over. Flatten it out. Come back here. Tap, 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 tap-a-roo. Even it out. Let's see what happens. Okay. So I think I'm going to make this the top. And the top being blade side, essentially. All right. So let me check this, and we're going to see how close I am. Here, let's do this. Okay, it starts catching. That's going to be just fine. Going to get that plenty hot before I do anything. So I'm heading over to the power hammer real quick. Square up some bar stock. Up, it's going back into the forge, and as that's going out, the next piece is coming in, or rather, as that one's going in, the next one's coming out. Well, I tried, people. All right, that started cooling off and grabbing, which is that's something that happens. So here's what I'm going to do. Take release that just a little bit. All right, there we go. So you see how that gets driven down. I'm going to be on this side now. And you guys will be able to see how I drive that down. You gotta let that come up to temperature. And while I do, I can start thinking about what my next piece is going to be. Huh? I hadn't turned it off. I didn't turn it off. Bring me my other phone. I think that spear point is going to be the next, spear point type blade is going to be the next one I do. So as that temperature comes up and the heat evens out, get everything going. Got to take care of this real quick. Yep, everything appears to be good. All right. Just slide that on while it's still hot. Drive it down onto that shoulder. Bring that up. Flatten it out slightly. And that's going back in the forge so we can put the curl on it. All right. Making progress, guys. Making progress. If you haven't subscribed yet, it's a great time to do so. You can check us out on Forged in Fire, Season 4, Episode 2, Deerhorn Knives. You can check out Cheyenne. She's not here right now. On Season 9, Episode 5, Blades Gone Wild. You can see myself on Season 1, Episode 1 of Master of Arms on Discovery Channel, Flintlock Axe Pistol. So, I'm going to go ahead once more just using got too much stuff out here. Just using the swedge block here, and I'm going to put a little bit of curve in that branch. Curves down. It really doesn't need that much, but it's there. So now I'm going to turn it. Guys, here we go. More forging fun. Let's start making another guard. This one I'm really not going to draw out to a tip. So I think what I'm going to do with this to reheat to get that up just a little bit hotter. And then I need to find a punching tool. Now, next piece of steel coming up. Looks to me like that could work. Now check with the caliper. Thickness. It should be good. We're going to find out. And on this one, I'm actually just going to do either a double branch or an S-guard, which is a version of a double branch. But I don't need that much material. There's that little rectangular slug right there, guys. That makes me happy when that works out. I'm just going to throw stuff on the floor. Go back into the forge. My tongs don't close enough to pick that up. Using a punch like that, you can knock that little slug right on out. Let that come up to temperature again, and then I'm going to I'll go ahead and cut it off. So now I'm going to take my guard blank right here and go back into the forge, because it's going to get fit up onto this piece quite quickly. That I can make into a guard. I don't think I'm planning anything for this. You want to make sure when you're punching that you have your material up to temperature to where it doesn't tear. But at the same time, like when I do the counter punch, when I flip that over and drive the slug through and shear it off, I do generally want it a little bit cooler so that it does shear and that it doesn't just, you know, stretch, I guess. with this one, about where it was. Moving right along, making good progress. Okay, guys, coming in, going to drive that guard down onto that tank. There we go. So I think I may put just a little bit of, make that into just a little bit of an S-guard. Now which hammer I want to use. basically keep your hand from sliding up off the blade when using that piece. So, what do you say we draw that front out just a little bit, just thin it out? And of course, that will need some cleanup. Next blade in line is, that's a good question. I've got this nice file steel plate right here. Checking my width. That'll work. Checking thickness. Good deal. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and draw out both ends like I was doing earlier. But I'm not going to make a point this time. I kind of want to do some square stock. I've got round stock. I think I'm going close here. I'll cut that down here in a moment. All right, so let's turn over to power hammer. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe for the power hammer. Okay, before I do my curvature on those pieces, I'm going to go ahead and drive that onto the tang. And if you think this is moving fast, I'm kind of impressed myself. I'll say that much. Kind of surprised. Clean this one up next a little bit, and I think that'll be the next guard. Next guard that I fit up, that's clearly a plate. Alright, so here we go. And it's pretty well there. That up. Now, these shoulders are not near as even, so I need a higher heat so all that conforms. And since it's a higher heat and more pressure, I'm going to give myself a little bit of extra room in case that plate slides. Since it's on a taper, I expect it to probably stop, but we'll find out. One more time, and then I'll do the curve on the S-guards, or curves on the S-guard. If you'd like to see in-depth builds, check out Forge of Memory Family. The link is in the description. We've got more videos coming, and goes towards a great cause. come over here to the swedge block. Actually, use one of my specialty hammers. It's got a rounder surface. Moments where it's like, what did I do with my blacksmith tong? Back portion upturned. Go ahead and do the front. Okay to me. That's warm, and since I'm over here, I can fit down just a little bit more, but there's another. Hell, I'm up to 5 of them so far. Okay, so the next piece is heating up, but it is not going to be large enough stock for what I'm doing. I'm going to let you know that. So what I'm going to do, I just put the piece I said I was going to reserve for a sword guard. I put that in. because as large of a blade as what this is, and gopher tank size and everything, I don't think it's going to make. I don't think the material I had chosen was going to be a good choice. So, better choice coming up. Okay, so checking thickness, it'll probably work. Looking for width. A little more than what I need there. See if I've got another wider. May have to make a punch. All right. That is still coming up to temperature. So I guess I have time to look for a punch. I have one. That's really just a flattened chisel. I mean, there's not much modification to it. And that's going to have to go, that's not very far. Okay. I got this. The only issue is, as long as that is, I'm going to be hammering up here. I may have to get my step for this. If you haven't subscribed yet, guys, it's a great time to do so. I'm going to be going to the power hammer just shortly. smaller stock, when forged on edge, it may actually have, might actually have enough to do this. But to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and use a heavier stock. That is a large, awkward piece of steel. What I am going to end up doing, I'm going to end up using this one. I'm also going to go ahead and cut that piece down. I'm using a different punch. Mark that just a little bit deeper. In the description, you're going to find two links. One is a Facebook link. That will take you to our social media page for Axon Main Forge and Memory. And that's what's happening here at Axon Main Forge and Memory. The second link, rather the other link, because I don't know which one's first, you'll see for Forge and Memory Family. Now, Forge and Memory Family, we're fortunate to be a member of. Forge and Memory was started in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee by Robbie Bowman. Forged and Fire fan favorite, seasons 3 and 4, episodes 5. You can get step-by-step instruction on builds, as well as there's an upcoming e-commerce page, or e-commerce page type store on that site. Be sure to check them out. And if you haven't subscribed, might as well. Guys, I'm going to finish up this blade right here. That's going to put me at 6 blade and guard combos. And then I'm going to go ahead and end the video. But stick with me if you got any questions, comments, otherwise, let me know. Dropping stuff. I think what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to leave it together and just go through and make maybe 2 or 3 guards out of this. Yeah. All right. So here we go, punching process. Break that off. And it sheared that slug right out, guys. Now you may be wondering, why am I setting that hole to size before drawing the ends out? And it's simple, because while I'm doing that, I've got more material, less distortion. I have the same amount of material. I have material that is condensed before drawing it out, so there will be less distortion. In theory. That's very close on size on that one, so I'm not going to drive it on yet. I'm going to draw those ends out. And While I'm doing that, I'm just going to keep making freeform on this board. So I know I started to punch through somewhere here. That popped out. Let's do another. All right. Going over the power hammer. And this will be an S-guard. It's taking a little bit longer. One, I'm wearing down, and two, this is getting hot. All right, back to the power hammer. taking too long, wearing down. I got the start of 3 guards right there. And I'm going to say it's pretty much time to drive this one on. One more time, just because that's so thick. It's going to be 6 in a row. That's pretty good practice. I got 3 more started up, and I know I've got some blades over there that might work. Guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead. We're coming down to that home stretch. That hotter, because I am already that hotter. Time to put that bend in. Why the hell my left arm's hurting when my right arm's what I've been hammering with. guard. And I'm taking a break. There we go. All right, so let's do a recap real quick. Nearing an hour and a half on this, guys. Didn't mean for it to be that long of a video. This is the most recent. You can see the S guard. Everything has been forged on camera here. At least the guards have. We're gonna get a little bit of cleanup. They'll all get a little bit of cleanup. That was the first one. I don't hate it, but I could like it better. Another one. So, they claim that practice makes perfect. I'm far from perfect, but I'm getting a lot of practice here, guys. And I think that if you keep that mindset about this is how I get better by repetition, by doing, by being a maker, by being creative, that whatever you're pursuing, that you can most likely end up doing quite well. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Give me some likes, share it out to your friends. Find us on social media. Check out the links in the description. And be sure to check out Forge in Memory and Forge in Memory Family. I'll catch you guys in a few. And thanks again.